back. As gardens begin to grow, thoughts turn to the gardens overflowing with those shiny red tomatoes, bright green peppers, and other colorful fruits and veggies filling farmers markets. MSU Extension is hosting an online food preservation series starting next week, so you can actually enjoy these fruits and veggies all year long. Lisa Trieber, food safety extension educator, is here to tell us what you can learn and how to sign up. Good morning. Thanks so much for being here with us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right. So first off, I never really thought about this, but why is it important to use research-based recipes?
Well, we want to make sure that you're preserving that food safely. And those research-based recipes are going to be the recipes that you want to use to make sure that the food that you're preserving is done safely, that it is going to be preserved the right way, that you're not going to be using your mom's recipe, your grandma's recipe, or even something that you found on the internet on a blog or a post. The research-based recipes have been tested. They've been tested for the proper pH to prevent a problem with botulism, and some of the more scientific testing to make sure that the proper heat penetration has been done for the right kill steps to make sure that food is going to be safe in a few months when you want to eat it.
And when it comes to canning, there are actually several different types. We have water bath canning, steam canning, and then pressure canning. So I can recall my mom in the kitchen growing up, and she still does this, but I think pressure canning is what she does. But can you explain the difference?
Sure. So we're going to do water bath canning or steam canning with our high acid foods. Those would be your fruits, your jams, your jellies, pickled products, tomato products. They're going to be the foods that I just mentioned. Your pressure canning is going to be with the low acid foods, and that's going to be your vegetables, your meats, fish, your beef, your chicken, venison. If you go to more exotic places and have bear, caribou, things like that, those would all have to be pressure canned. Water bath canning and steam canning is done at 212 degrees, and pressure canning is done at 240 degrees. If you're pickling and it's done in that vinegar brine with a vegetable, then that would definitely be done in a water bath canner. The pressure canning is needed at those higher temperatures. Again, it's a higher kill process to ensure that those low acid foods are processed safely.
And as we mentioned at the beginning, we talked about tomatoes and peppers, and I instantly thought of salsa. So can you actually make your own salsa recipe and then can that too to pull it off of the shelf at any time?
So this is one of those questions we get so often when we start talking about canning tomatoes. Salsa, everyone has their favorite recipe, and we really want, again, to go back to that term we talked about at the beginning, research-based or research-tested recipe, and going to a reliable source. When we start mixing tomatoes and peppers and onions and cilantro and all those favorite things we like in our salsa, that changes the pH of the recipe. And you know, people say they've been doing it forever, they've never had a problem, and thank goodness they haven't. But we don't want to encourage people to mix things and just can it. One of the things we talk about in our classes is canning is a science. When we work in the kitchen and we create recipes when we're cooking, that's a little bit different. But when you start to can something and seal it up, you're putting it in what's called an anaerobic environment, and that is where we run into issues with the potential for botulism. So please follow the research-tested recipe, which you can, I don't know if that was going to be a question you were going to ask me or not, but where you can find on our Michigan Fresh Fact Sheets at the the United States Department of Agriculture Complete Guide for Home Canning. The National Center for Home Food Preservation, which is University of Georgia, where they do all the research for the extension services. Ball. Each one of those places has tested these recipes.
And real quick, you had this food preservation series. It's the 4th through July 30th, and we're running out of time, but we want to make sure we talk about this event.
Yes. So these classes, it's something different for Extension. We're used to going out and teaching face-to-face in the community. And because our teaching methods have had to change this year with the COVID-19, the COVID pandemic, we will now be teaching these classes online. So instructor will be teaching a lecture format, talking about the food preservation concepts, and then the Zoom will be opened for questions and answers. And the participants can type in their questions, and then our food safety team will be there to answer those questions.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Great information. We'll make sure to get this on fox17morningmix.com. We appreciate your time.
Great. Thank you for having me again.